A battle between two equally matched opponents can be a treat to watch, but there's a certain kind of high that you only get from witnessing an overpowered character while he proudly shows off his insane strength. So in today's video, we're going to check 10 epic showcases of power that are going to leave you speechless. Number 10. Gotos Slaughters Yakuza. Parasite Maxim has no shortage of scenes that are full of blood and gore, but even some of the most hardcore fans of the show were stunned when Goto slaughtered Yakuza in their own headquarters. This scene takes place long before Goto turns into a monster, but most people realized how strong he was by simply looking at how he crushed dozens of gangsters like some insects. And if his actions weren't scary enough, he sliced people in half with his bare hands, all the while maintaining a frigging grin on his face. Even when a guy put a sword through his head, he kept killing people left and right just to test his limits. This wasn't a battle by any means. This was simply a cold-blooded massacre. Number 9. Endeavor redeems himself. My Hero Academia has given us so many iconic fights, and yet after All Might retired, it felt as if we're not going to see something great ever again. Well, that is until Endeavor decided to burn Nomu to ash. In a fight where this insane version of Nomu was kicking everyone's ass, Endeavor finally showed us why he's a worthy successor to All Might. By using his flames, he propelled his attacks to such speed that even with an incredible regeneration ability, the monster was unable to make a comeback. For a man who lived in All Might's shadow all his life, this was the moment to shine. And even though his victory wasn't an easy one, it made one thing quite clear. He is now the ultimate hero. Number 8. Bradley shows who's the boss. King Bradley is a unique homunculus since unlike his brethren, he actually ages like normal humans. This is why it's even more incredible when he quite literally dismantles all the defenses created to stop him from entering his palace. The man is slicing tank shells mid-air for God's sake, so it's not a surprise that normal soldiers don't even see him before he cuts them down. What makes his showcase of strength so special is the ease in which he does all that. I mean, he didn't even have to use his ultimate eye to do any of this. There are many overpowered characters in FMA, but King Bradley deserves a special spot because he does some unbelievable stuff while looking like he's going for a jog. Number 7. Lulang vs. the Bandits. Sword of the Stranger is one of the most underrated movies of all time. You only have to look at the first few minutes of the film to understand why I say that. In a beautifully animated and perfectly choreographed scene, we watch as Lulang not only saves his comrades from a company of bandits, but also goes on a rampage that's simply jaw-dropping. From the way he uses a dead body as a shield to the way he cuts through bandits like they're made of paper is simply ridiculous. It's hard to believe that this was made all the way back in 2007, but then again, Studio Bones is known for being ahead of its time, and here they give us a spectacle that is worthy of Lulang's breathtaking swordsplay. Number 6. Reagan puts the fear of God in his enemies. Now everyone knows that Reagan Arataka is an ordinary human with no special powers, which is why it was beyond shocking when he began beating the shit out of the Claw members. Keep in mind that these people were some of the strongest espers in the world, and here our boy Reagan was bullying them that they were a bunch of middle schoolers. We, later on, find out that he was able to do all of that because Mob had transferred some of his powers to him. But even though Reagan technically didn't beat any of these guys on his own, his little show was enough to change not only the minds, but also the hearts of these evil villains. Number 5. Muzan takes out the weaklings. In Demon Slayer, we've come across many unbelievable strong characters, but none of them have shown the kind of divine strength that Muzan shows at the end of the first season. I mean, we all know he's strong, but to see him obliterate 4 of the lower moons without even lifting a finger is something that leaves you speechless. Just remember everything Tanjiro and his friends had to go through to beat 1 lower moon, and here is Muzan shattering their minds and bodies at will. By displaying such absolute strength, he not only inspires other top-tier demons to get more ruthless, but also reminds the viewers of the danger that our demon slayers will be facing inevitably. Number 4. Utsaro vs. the world. From the moment he first graced us with his presence, it was clear that Utsaro is a completely broken character. His abilities and godlike strength made him pretty much invincible, and in the farewell to Shinsengumi arc, he just reiterates that point by putting on a display of strength like no other in the history of Gintama. Everybody has united to take him down, and yet even with their combined strength, they are no match for him. He throws Gintoki around as if he's a toy, and even after he gets stabbed by the members of Shinsengumi, he keeps on beating the life out of them. Gintama is a hilarious show, but this massacre was just horrible to watch. Number 3. Anos has no limits. Anos Voldigode is no ordinary being. He's a demon of the highest order and has numerous extremely broken abilities that he doesn't shy away from using throughout the show, whether he's playing catch with castles or evaporating entire lakes. You always know he's still not using his entire strength. But what makes him worthy of this list is the way he destroys Zapes in an absolutely ridiculous battle. Anos incapacitates Zapes by using only his heartbeats. He then goes on to destroy Zapes' body before bringing him back to life. He does it again and again until Zapes loses his damn mind. This is the kind of scene that can only take place in a power fantasy like the Misfit of Demon King Academy. Number 2. Guy surpasses everyone. Might Guy is not only one of the coolest characters in Naruto, but his fight against Madara gave us arguably the most hyped battle in the entire show. In the fight, Madara, who has now become pretty much a god, is taking out Kakashi and other ninjas with ease. Things are looking grim for our favourite characters, but this is the moment that Guy chooses to unleash all of his strength to save his friends. He opens the final gate of death, and with vapours of blood surrounding him, he unleashes hell on Madara, who's surprised at his strength. Guy's mastery of taijutsu is such that in only a few blows, he brings Madara close to death. Sure, he destroys his own body in the process, but in this battle, he finally passes every single one of his peers and rivals. Now before we reveal the greatest display of strength on our list, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and also hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss future videos. Number 1. Gilgamesh unleashes Enuma Elish. Fate series has given us some of the greatest battles, and one character who's been universally acclaimed as one of the strongest in the lore is Gilgamesh. The King of Heroes has shown us the destructive strength of his noble phantasm Enuma Elish more than once. But you truly understand how strong this noble phantasm is when he uses it against Tiamat in the Fate Grand Order Babylonia. So far, we've seen many godlike beings on this list, but this final entry is where we meet the God Slayer. You see, Tiamat is a goddess whose strength is unparalleled. She's able to single-handedly beat down all of the strongest characters in the show. But just before she completely destroys the world, Gilgamesh brings out his ultimate weapon. Using his divine sword, he erases the very existence of Tiamat from the face of the earth. And if you thought Heaven's Feel movies had a great audio, check this out. There's simply no other showcase of strength like the one you witness here. And that brings an end to today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.